Hey everyone, this is Alex or PolymomoTea, and today I have a video showing you how to make this Chinese New Year box from Sophie and Toffee. I always really liked the Chinese Zodiac animals, and I thought might as well make all 12 of them now that I have a box. It gives me a little bit of inspiration to do it. So this is a pretty long video because I made 12 different creations, but I hope you guys enjoyed. So I really like the molds that they came with, so I added some white pigment to some 2-part resin and mixed it together. And I thought maybe I should make it a little bit more prettier than just white, so I added some Pearl X powder. And then I'm gonna fill up my molds with the white resin. And after 24 hours, I let it set and I took it out from the mold. So next, I wanted to color in the little outlines of the mold, so I added some red pigment with some UV resin. And I thought this was the easiest way to color it in, so I just globbed on the red resin onto the resin piece and let it fill in the outline, and I just scraped off the excess and then let that cure under the UV lamp, and you can see the outline pretty well this way. And I continue that process for the other 11 animals in the Zodiac. So I'm just going to be doing this same thing for the next minute or so, but you get to see all the little designs come from the resin piece. So I really like that process. I really didn't know other ways to color it in better. This I thought would be like the easiest, and I mean it was easy, it was just very tedious. But ever since I was little, I always liked the Chinese Zodiac animals. I just think it's so interesting. I was born in the year of the monkey, so if you guys hear my message, write in the comment box below and say what kind of animal you are in the Chinese Zodiac. After it was fully cured, here are the 12 different designs. Next, I took some scrap clay and I rolled it out flat and I cut it into a little hexagon shape. And this is going to be the little stands for my Zodiac dolls. And I used some gold pigment to rub on to the scrap clay just to make it nice and shiny, and I thought the gold would be a really good kind of complement to the figures. And I added some super glue onto the hexagon and glued it to the resin piece. So we have our little stands for our Zodiac animals. So we're finally onto the animals. So first I'm going to make the tiger because this is the year of the tiger. We're going to take some orange clay and pinch it into a flattened oval shape. Then for the ears, we're going to take some black clay, roll into a ball and flatten it out. And then using my dotting tool, I'm just going to make a giant indent in the middle. And inside, I'm going to place a little pink ball of clay and put that in the indent and cut it in half. And we're going to place those ears on top of our little tiger body. Then we're going to take some white clay and roll it out super flat. And I'm just going to cut out 2 little spiky things. These will be like, I don't know, the tufts of fur on the side. And then we're gonna cut out a little oval from a ball of white clay and place that on the face, and this will be like the snout area. And on top we're gonna add a little oval nose and some dot eyes. And we'll add some stripes to the tiger as well. To make the tiger's tail, I'm just going to take balls of orange and black clay and alternate them and then roll it together to let them blend. And we're just going to add that to the butt and give it a little bend. And here is the tiger. The second animal we're going to make is a rabbit. So I'm taking some tan clay and shaping it into that oval. And for the nose, I'm going to flatten some white clay and place that onto the face. And then we're gonna roll out some rabbit ears, so just kind of like carrot shaped, flatten it out, add a little indent with a needle tool, and we're gonna fill up that indent with some pink clay and flatten that out. Next I'm gonna cut the ears so it's a little bit shorter and place that onto our rabbit body. And I'm adding a little white circle for the tail. So for the nose and mouth, we're gonna make a little Y shape and give it some dot eyes. And here is the finished bunny. The next animal we'll make is a little pig, so we're gonna have a little pink body, and with some darker pink clay, we're gonna pinch it into a rounded triangle shape, and these will be the ears, which we'll place on top of the pig head. Then for the snout, we're going to take some light pink clay and we're going to flatten out another piece of pink clay. This will be the same like color as the body, and we're going to roll it out flat. And we're going to roll it out flat because we're going to wrap it around the light pink nose, and we're going to make a cane out of that. So after rolling it together, just to get rid of the seams, we're just going to cut out a little slice and place that onto our pig. And with the dark pink clay, we're going to roll out a thin snake, and we're going to use that for the tail. And very carefully, I'm adding a little bit of swirls, because curly tail, why not? And we're going to give it some dot eyes and some line nostrils. Next, we're gonna make the snake, which is the laziest one I did. We're gonna take the body and pinch out a little tail. And for the tongue, we're gonna roll out some pink clay super flat and cut out like the snake tongue shape. And I placed the tongue onto the snake head and very carefully just bent the tongue like downwards a little bit and gave it some dot eyes. And here's the very simple and completed snake. The next animal we're going to do is the chicken. So I took some dark orange clay and I added a little oval beak, a little red circle for like the little hanging thing, some dot eyes, and for the little thing that goes on top, I just made 2 indents on a circle and cut off the end and placed that onto the middle of the chicken. Yeah, I really don't know the names of the chicken parts, but here they are. Next, we're going to take some gray clay because I'm going to make a little mouse. So for the ears, we're going to do the same exact steps that we did for the tiger, but a lot bigger. Once the ears are cut, I placed it onto the body. I gave it a slight curvature as well, just because the ears were so big. For the tail, I took some pink clay and rolled it out so it's a little bit pointed on one end and cut it at a slant. The tail's then placed onto the butt and I gave it a little bit of a curvature to it. Next, we're gonna make the dragon. So I took some light green clay for the body base, and I cut out a little end from a circle, and this will be the snout of the dragon. And for the ears, I took some clay and pinched it into a diamond shape, gave it a little indent with my needle tool, cut off the end, and we're gonna place that onto the body. Using snakes of clay, I made little branches, and these will be the kind of horns of the dragon. So I took a dotting tool and made two little indents and placed the little horn branches on top. And then I took some orange clay and rolled it out into a snake, and I placed that onto the back of the dragon and giving a little squiggle effect. I also gave it some dot eyes and some dot nostrils as well. So for the sheep, we're gonna take a light yellow base and we're gonna add a little white oval for the face. And we're gonna give it some extra fluff. So I added 3 dots of yellow clay and blended that onto the body. And then for the horns, we're gonna take some brown clay and roll it into a snake and then swirl it up. And we're gonna put the 2 swirlies on the sides of the sheep. So now if this sheep has horns, is it a sheep or a ram? But anyways, we're gonna give it a pink oval nose and 2 dot eyes. Next up is the horse. So we're gonna take a light brown base for the body, and we're gonna cut out a little snout from a dark brown piece of clay and place that onto the horse. For the ears, we're gonna take the same light brown clay and pinch it into flat teardrop shapes. And I forgot to show the indent making part, but we added some indents. And I'm gonna add a little white diamond as well and give it some dot eyes. And this horse needs a mane, so I took some sprinkles of brown clay and I just kind of made it into a stitch shape and added a little tail. So next up is a cow, so I'm going to cut out a little piece from a ball of pink clay for the snout, and we're going to place that onto our white base. And then for the cow ears, we're going to take some white clay and pinch into a flattened teardrop shape and place that on top of our cow. And I'm adding 2 little nubs of light yellow clay for the horns. Next, we're going to give it some dot eyes. And then for the cow spots, I took some black clay and flattened it out, and these are just different circles and oval shapes, which we're going to place onto the back of our cow. And I forgot to include the pink little dots for the nostrils as well. And for the cow tail, we're going to take some white clay and roll it out into a snake and add that to the butt of the cow and add a little yellow nub for the tail fur. Next up is the monkey, which is my ear. So we're taking some dark brown clay for the base, and we're gonna make the ears just like we did for the tiger and the mouse. And we're gonna place that onto the body of the monkey. Next up for the face, I'm going to take some light yellow clay and flatten it out into an oval shape, and we're going to place that onto the monkey head. Then giving it an oval nose and some dot eyes. And I'm rolling out some dark brown clay for the tail, which will add it to the butt of the monkey and give it a slight curvature. So finally is the dog. We're going to take some orange clay as the base, and I'm going to take a ball of white clay and orange clay and cut it into fourths. This will be the little snout of the dog, because the dog I'm going to make is a Shiba Inu. So I added the 2 fourths together, and place that onto the base. And then we're going to take some of that orange clay and pinch it into a triangle shape. Place a little white triangle on top and cut off the excess. And we're going to place those ears on top of our head. And for the tail, we're just going to roll out a longer carrot shape. And we're going to place the tail onto the butt and curl it into a C shape. I gave the Shiba Inu some dot eyes along with an oval nose. And from the oval nose, I also put a little snake line downwards. And I also gave it some little eyebrows. And here is the finished dog. So once I had all 12 of my Zodiac animals done, I baked it in the oven according to instructions, and I placed them onto my little displays. So this is the final product, and I really loved how they look. I think the background looks perfect, and they're very simplified, so I think it works even better. And it looks so much cooler when all of them are just like placed together on display. I kind of want to get a display case just so I could show off all 12 of them in a nicer way. This is the final product of all 12 Zodiac animals and their displays. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you all for watching.